China's Mars orbiter captures a rare glimpse of the three-eye atlas, the interstellar visitor rewriting rules. And this comes as NASA still continues to remain silent, holding back some crucial information.
The mystery surrounding Three-Eye Atlas, the Earth's third interstellar visitor, has just deepened. Since its discovery, this strange object has broken every comet rule, sometimes behaving like one, sometimes not.
The journey of a comet as it sails through the solar system is the most fantastic of all astronomical objects.
It moves in unexpected ways and lights up when it shouldn't. But now, China's powerful telescope has detected something that changes everything we thought we knew. What exactly is this visitor doing out there? Could Three-Eye Atlas be something far more advanced than just a wandering space rock? Join us as we unravel the mystery that China's telescope just detected. A teardrop-shaped cocoon of dust.
China's Mars orbiter captures a rare glimpse of the three-eye atlas, the interstellar visitor rewriting the rules. And this comes.
China's Tianwen-1. Mars orbiter has achieved something extraordinary. From its solitary vantage above Mars, it captured rare images of the interstellar visitor, Three-Eye Atlas, and revealed surprising new details. Using its high-resolution imaging camera, Tianwen-1 tracked the faint object against a sea of distant stars. The challenge was immense, switching from photographing the blazing Martian surface to following a dim, fast-moving body nearly 18 million miles away. What it captured was mesmerizing. The comet, only 3.5 miles across, yet hurtling through space at over 103 miles per hour, appeared as a glowing ember enveloped in a misty blue veil. In a November 5th statement, China's National Space Administration confirmed the data had reached Earth. Processed images showed a bright, pulsing core surrounded by a vast, shimmering coma stretching thousands of kilometers, a luminous shroud drifting silently through space. Across the solar system, observatories and spacecraft, including Hubble, Webb, TESS, Swift, SPHEREX, Perseverance, Europa Clipper, Lucy, Psyche, and Parker Solar Probe, are currently watching this interstellar visitor. As most scientists remain cautious of this space body, others, like Harvard's Avi Loeb, have not held back their reservations and have even suggested the possibility of artificial influence. The idea is unsettling, but it echoes questions raised years earlier about Oumuamua. Could interstellar objects be more than natural wanderers? Could they be messengers from civilizations beyond our reach? These questions became more significant when China discovered something even more shocking.
We've got some fresh images of Three-Eye Atlas, a third ever interstellar object observed from Earth.
The unusual echo signal. When China first released its report on the Three-Eye Atlas, it confirmed what had long been suspected. The comet's behavior was unusual, yet what followed, or rather what didn't, was equally striking. For 36 hours, the world's largest observatories, including Hubble, James Webb, the Very Large Telescope, and Gemini North and South, paused data collection. Officially, it was routine maintenance, but the timing created a rare global gap in observations. During that period, Chinese observatories remained active. On the plateaus of Tibet, Qinghai, and Yunnan, instruments continued recording every flicker and subtle change in the comet's light. While the rest of the world paused, China gathered a continuous record that no one else had. During this time, the comet exhibited something unusual. Its light fluctuated in short, rhythmic intervals, a stage astronomers later called the echo phase, during which Three-Eye Atlas appeared to interact with sunlight in unexpected ways. Typically, comets approaching the sun sublimate frozen gases, forming a bright coma and a trailing tail. Three-Eye Atlas did not follow this pattern. When NASA's and ESA's telescopes came back online, they compared data taken before and after the blackout. They found that the comet's composition was very different from that of most known comets.
Observing this rare comet that had water vapor in it.
Instead of being dominated by water vapor, its coma contained large amounts of carbon dioxide, with surprisingly little water. That indicated it was formed in a much colder region than our solar system, perhaps in the outer reaches of another star system.
It is only the third time we have detected an object that has come from beyond our solar system.
But why will this object become so active near the sun? Some scientists proposed a past collision or prior heating in its home system.
The plume of gas around it is mostly carbon dioxide, 95% by mass, based on the Webb telescope data.
Allowing nickel to outgas, while iron remained bound in the nucleus.
In contrast, others noted the comet's non-gravitational acceleration, a small but measurable push that gravity alone could not explain. When the Chinese observatories revealed their record on subtle variations like faint increases in brightness, slow coma expansion, and a tail longer than expected, patterns began to emerge, and the then expert began to notice light changes that occurred in repeated cycles, suggesting either uneven rotation or periodic outgassing from deep within the comet's surface. However, by the time international observatories resumed complete monitoring, the most intriguing activities had already passed. The fact that several of them went offline during that exact period has raised unsettling questions. Were they truly down for maintenance, or was something else being hidden?
That comet that entered human history on many occasions, and we found a cold, dead world.
The blackout. In modern astronomy, every second of telescope time is carefully planned months, sometimes years, ahead. Complex algorithms decide which celestial targets to observe, when to run maintenance, and how to share time among scientists worldwide. It's an efficient system, until everything lines up just wrong. That's precisely what happened. The Hubble Space Telescope was busy realigning its delicate gyroscopes, adjusting its aim to within a fraction of an arcsecond. The James Webb Space Telescope had switched from its near-infrared to mid-infrared mode, a delicate transition that required a whole day to cool and stabilize its golden mirrors. Down in Chile, the Very Large Telescope was being cleaned. Its giant mirrors were getting a carbon dioxide snow wash to remove microscopic dust. Meanwhile, the Gemini North and South telescopes were locked into exoplanet surveys that couldn't be easily paused. Each of these pauses made sense on its own, but together they created a rare 36-hour blackout, the exact period when the interstellar traveler 3I Atlas shone its brightest near the sun's glare. Even the backup systems couldn't fill the gap. The Pan-STARRS survey in Hawaii was focused on near-Earth asteroids. The Atlas network, ironically named after the comet, was busy scanning for potential impact threats. Radar observatories like Goldstone couldn't help either. The comet was simply too far away for radar to reach. But when something is moving at over 750,000 miles per day, even a few missing hours can mean millions of miles of uncertainty. The blackout revealed a deeper problem in the structure of global astronomy. However, after close observation and data from the Chinese agency, scientists have discovered that the mysterious interstellar visitor behaves unlike any comet ever seen before. Its strange movements and unpredictable activity have left experts puzzled and sparked growing curiosity about what 3I Atlas really is. Could this odd traveler from deep space be more than it appears? And most importantly, should Earth be worried?
That's the way science is done. We shouldn't assume we know the answer about its nature in advance. It's a blind date of interstellar proportions.
Defying the comic rulebook. 3I Atlas has become one of the year's most baffling space mysteries. For weeks, scientists worldwide have watched it closely, trying to understand what exactly it is. At times, it behaves like a typical comet, but then it breaks every rule of space science. It shifts color, brightens unpredictably, and moves in ways that make no sense.
And this time, the usual follow-up measurements of position and speed showed something completely different.
This strange behavior has left astronomers wondering whether this interstellar visitor is truly a comet or something entirely different. When 3I Atlas passed near the Sun at the end of October, its mystery deepened. It is only the third interstellar object ever detected, yet it refused to act like the others. For months, it showed no visible tail, and according to Professor Avi Loeb, it even appeared to have an anti-tail pointing toward the Sun rather than away from it, an impossible sight under standard cometary physics. NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite later revealed another surprise. Archived data showed that back in May, 3I Atlas suddenly grew 5 times brighter, even though its distance from the Sun suggested it should have brightened by only about 1.5 times. This unexplained surge in brightness raised new questions about what might be happening inside or around it. As it approached its closest point to the Sun, its perihelion, at the end of October, the comet brightened dramatically once again. Typically, comets near the Sun take on a reddish glow as sunlight scatters through their dust. But 3I Atlas didn't. Instead, it became brighter and clearer, defying expected optical behavior. Even more mysterious was its motion. Scientists observed that it began accelerating in a way that did not match the pull of gravity. This non-gravitational acceleration sparked bold speculation. Professor Loeb suggested the possibility of an artificial mechanism, perhaps an unknown propulsion system, driving it forward. unless a massive cloud of dust and gas, estimated at around 5 billion tons, surrounded it. Such acceleration should not occur. When 3I Atlas re-emerged from behind the sun, astronomers expected it to look different. Yet new images showed the same small glowing dot as before, with no visible tail and a coma almost unchanged from months earlier. Typically, a comet exposed to the sun's heat would undergo major transformations in shape and brightness, but not this one. Adding to the puzzle, NASA later reported that as the object moved away from the sun, it appeared to speed up again. Some experts believe solar gravity played a role, while others remain unconvinced. For now, the exact cause of its shifting brightness and erratic motion remains unknown.
The richness and the complexity of the data, it's all there. The universe is like sort of hiding in the darkness and we have to bring it out.
3I Atlas continues to defy explanation. Whether it is a peculiar comet, a fragment of interstellar rock, or something far more mysterious, it stands as one of astronomy's most intriguing discoveries. And as some scientists cautiously ask, could there be something artificial behind its behavior? Let's examine what they have to say about that theory.
The comet's path will take it past even more of our robotic explorers.
The interstellar enigma. Whenever an unusual object appears in space, the idea of alien involvement quickly follows.
Ice on a natural comet, given that speed, we can tell that there is a lot of mass.
It's an exciting thought, and one that has surfaced many times before, from the discovery of Oumuamua to Borisov and other mysterious interstellar visitors. In every case so far, those objects turned out to be natural cosmic phenomena rather than signs of extraterrestrial technology. Still, curiosity persists, even among scientists themselves. Astrophysicist Avi Loeb has issued one of the boldest warnings yet. He suggests that 3I Atlas could be an extraterrestrial Trojan horse, a possibility with implications for all of humanity. Loeb points to 10 unusual findings that lead him to question whether this object is genuinely natural. The first clue lies in its orbit. 3I Atlas moves in a retrograde path, the opposite direction of most planets, yet it remains nearly aligned with the solar system's ecliptic plane, within just 5 degrees. The odds of that happening by chance are only about 0.2%. The second anomaly is its anti-tail, a stream of material pointing toward the sun instead of away from it. This was not a visual illusion, but a real, measurable feature that defied conventional comet behavior. Its size and speed are equally remarkable. The object's nucleus is about 1,000,000 times heavier than Oumuamua and 1,000 times more massive than Borisov, yet it travels even faster than both. According to Loeb, the odds of such a combination occurring naturally are practically zero. Then there's the matter of its timing and trajectory. 3I Atlas passed unusually close to Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, while remaining hidden from Earth during its nearest approach to the Sun. Loeb estimates the statistical chance of that sequence at just 0.005%, suggesting a strange level of precision in its path. Its chemical composition deepens the mystery.
That's the way science is done. We shouldn't assume we know the answer about its nature in advance. It's a blind date of interstellar proportions.
The comet's gas plume contains far more nickel than iron, a ratio similar to industrial nickel alloys, and its nickel to cyanide balance is thousands of times higher than that of any known comet. Even more unusual, it contains only about 4% water, an extremely low figure for an object thought to have formed in the cold, distant regions of space. The light signature adds another layer of intrigue. 3I Atlas shows extreme negative polarization, a phenomenon never before observed in any comet. It also entered the solar system from almost the same direction as the famous WOW signal, detected in 1977, just 9 degrees apart in the sky. At peak brightness, it glowed much brighter than expected, even surpassing the sun's hue, a peculiarity that remains unexplained. Loeb further argues that most stars in our galaxy are billions of years older than the sun, meaning other civilizations could have had much more time to develop advanced technology. If humanity's own Voyager probes, launched in the 1970s, can theoretically cross the Milky Way in under 1 billion years, it's not impossible that another civilization could have built something even more capable long ago. Still, many scientists emphasize that the simplest explanation is usually the right one. 3I Atlas could be a highly unusual but natural comet, behaving in ways not yet fully understood. Loeb himself acknowledges that while a natural origin remains most likely, the possibility of an artificial one deserves scientific investigation rather than dismissal. As the object moves closer to Earth, researchers hope to collect more data to reveal its true nature. For now, the scientific consensus leans toward natural causes, yet its anomalies keep the debate alive. Recent studies suggest that 3I Atlas may be the oldest object ever observed in our solar system. While our planetary system formed about 4.6 billion years ago,
by these jets so that they can penetrate through the solar wind about 5 billion tons.
This visitor may be over 7 billion years old, meaning it's been drifting through space since before the sun existed. Compositional analysis reveals unusually high levels of carbon dioxide and nickel, offering clues about the ancient environment in which it formed. These details could indicate what kind of star system it came from and what the early universe was like in that region. That's why astronomers prefer to study its chemistry and trajectory before jumping to conclusions about extraterrestrial life.
For now, I rank it 4 on the scale that I define that is called the Loeb scale, where 0 is a natural object.
As the late Carl Sagan reminded us, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Just because not every feature of 3I Atlas has been explained yet doesn't mean it's alien. It simply means there's more to learn. Still, a question lingers in the background. What if all the evidence eventually points to something more than a comet? The Black Swan event. While NASA maintains that 3I Atlas poses no immediate danger, the NASA-backed International Asteroid Warning Network has stepped up its monitoring efforts to ensure. Between November 27, 2025 and January 27, 2025, the agency plans to conduct a global comet campaign to track Atlas's exact position and refine observation methods.
From images, we also saw that this object is active, which is an indication that this object is in fact a comet.
Still, Loeb remains cautious. He warned that 3I Atlas might be a black swan event, a rare and unpredictable occurrence that could only be understood in hindsight. According to him, 3I Atlas could appear natural at first glance, but ultimately turn out to be something engineered, possibly even with intent.
Another possibility is that perhaps the object broke up and what we see is the trail of material.
As strange as that sounds, an incident in mid-September gave reason for unease. As the comet approached Mars, its movement began to resemble that of a controlled spacecraft, rather than a drifting fragment of ice and rock. Engineers analyzing its emissions discovered a disturbing pattern, pulsing plumes that mirrored the rhythm of attitude thrusters, the maneuvering jets spacecraft used to adjust direction. For several consecutive nights, the plumes fired in precise timed intervals. Each burst imparted a measurable push, gradually narrowing the distance between 3I Atlas and Mars. By mid-September, projections had turned grim. The comet's estimated missed distance shrank from millions of miles to under 50,000, closer than the orbit of Mars' moons. By September 26th, it was expected to pass just 1.2 million miles from the planet, a razor-thin margin by cosmic standards.
3I Atlas as taken from Mars. It performed a close approach.
For comparison, Earth's moon orbits at roughly 238,000 miles, and Mars itself measures barely 42,000 miles across. On paper, that distance was safe. In reality, it left no room for error. At such proximity, Mars's gravity could easily alter the comet's course. The danger was compounded by its instability. Every 17-minute burst of gas slightly changed its motion, while gravitational pulls from the Sun, Jupiter, and Mars amplified those shifts. What began as a routine flyby had turned into a fragile gravitational dance, where the slightest imbalance could decide the outcome. Revised models revealed just how precarious the situation had become. A change of merely 6 miles per second in velocity, one strong outburst, could have sent 3I Atlas straight into Mars. Between September 19th and 30th, it would skim directly along the planet's orbital plane. Any deviation in that narrow window, no matter how small, could transform a near miss into a catastrophic impact.
This comet is at the reverse side.
But is it nature or something else? We're going to find out soon.
If the rhythmic eruptions had continued, the safe distance might have dropped to under 30,000 miles, closer than Deimos, Mars' outermost moon. The potential consequences were immense. Then, just as tension peaked, the comet suddenly stabilized. One more burst could have sealed disaster, yet it held steady, as if by decision rather than chance. The immediate threat passed, but the mystery deepened. Scientists were left with one haunting question. What if this visitor from beyond the stars had struck Mars? And what if it wasn't entirely natural to begin with? Interstellar catastrophe. Hurtling through space at nearly 194,000 miles per hour, 10 times faster than a rifle bullet, 3I Atlas carries the energy of a planetary bomb. The The Chicxulub impactor unleashed about 100 million megatons of TNT. A strike from 3I Atlas would release around 2 million megatons, less destructive, but still thousands of times stronger than the largest nuclear explosion ever recorded. The impact would carve a crater 37 miles wide and over 3 miles deep, larger than Los Angeles, more profound than the Grand Canyon. By comparison, Arizona's Meteor crater, made by a 50-meter object, is less than a mile across. 3I Atlas would gouge a scar worthy of the moon itself. The violence wouldn't stop there. The collision would vaporize rock and ice in an instant, launching cubic miles of debris into space. Mars' thin atmosphere would offer no resistance. Material would rain back down in molten waves, while other fragments would escape entirely, flung across the solar system.
Now, the interstellar visitor named 31 Atlas it came beyond our solar system.
For Mars exploration, it would be catastrophic. Rovers like Perseverance and Curiosity could be buried or annihilated. Ingenuity's fragile flights would end in seconds. Orbiters, such as MAVEN and the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, could be shredded by high-speed debris, cutting off communication between Earth and Mars. Decades of work and billions in investment could vanish in moments. The scenario recalls the Shoemaker-Levy 9 event of 1994, when comet fragments slammed into Jupiter, leaving Earth-sized scars. But this time, the danger isn't distant. Mars is alive with active missions, and its orbital environment is fragile. A single impact could cripple exploration for generations. The planet itself would change. Dust storms could blanket its surface for decades, choking sunlight and halting every solar-powered operation. Subsurface ice might vaporize, distorting the atmosphere and corrupting sensor readings. Even the search for life could be set back, as promising sites are buried or sterilized by fallout. The danger doesn't end with Mars. Fragments cast into interplanetary space could drift inward toward Venus, or even Earth. It echoes the memory of the 1908 Tunguska event, when a small object exploded over Siberia, leveling forests for hundreds of miles. 3I Atlas is far larger, and though Mars may be its target, the aftershocks could ripple across the inner solar system. For planetary defense experts, this is the ultimate nightmare. An interstellar visitor, faster and more volatile than anything we've faced, immune to existing models or strategies. With 3I Atlas, humanity confronts a threat beyond precedent. Even a close pass would raise alarms, but a collision could reshape the destiny of more than one world. Mars might be scarred for millennia, its exploration silenced, its skies thick with dust, and the danger could still find its way to Earth as fragments wander through the void. The last time a celestial body of this scale struck a planet, it ended the age of the dinosaurs. So when Mars appeared to lie in its path, panic among scientists was inevitable. Yet its strange movements carried another mystery, an eerie pattern across space that defied logic. What was it, and why did it leave even the experts afraid? Alien ship with thrusters. As the window of danger narrowed, scientists probed deeper into the mystery of 3I Atlas.
Yeah, there is a lot of misinformation. Some people said, I invented 3I Atlas, this object, in order to distract attention from the Epstein files.
From orbit above Mars, ESA's Mars Express detected faint, fleeting flashes streaking across the planet, tiny glints repeating with uncanny precision over 3 consecutive passes. They formed a perfect triangular arrangement, holding position as if anchored, moving less like random debris and more like carefully arranged stations. If these signals were deliberate emissions from 3I Atlas, the implications were nothing short of extraordinary. As the comet approached, the phenomenon grew stranger. Amateur astronomers reported that its tail no longer fanned into a diffuse glow. Instead, it split into 3 narrow, sharply defined beams, radiating an eerie green light. Initially dismissed as optical distortion, the effect was soon confirmed independently by observers around the globe. Each beam pulsed in sync with the comet's 17-minute rotation, brightening with every surge of activity. Long exposure images revealed that the streams seemed to point directly toward Mars, as if charting a course. Comets occasionally display color, but never with such exacting symmetry or timing. The regularity suggested a hidden structure, perhaps even intentional control. If 3I Atlas were artificial, or at least partially engineered, those luminous beams might contain exotic, nanoscopic compounds or unknown elements concealed beneath the ice. Researchers raised the specter of forward contamination, the risk that material from deep space could carry alien chemistry to Mars, Earth, or the inner planets. Whether 3I Atlas was an ancient relic behaving beyond comprehension or a designed object moving with purpose, one reality stood out. Its passage near Mars was no ordinary celestial encounter. It was a test of humanity's readiness to confront the unknown when it is no longer distant, but arrives at our doorstep. And in the midst of it all, Avi Loeb's voice remained central, pressing for answers no one yet had.
Only over the past decade we started finding interstellar objects. It's a new frontier. We don't know if we were visited before.
Discussion with Joe Rogan. Appearing on multiple news programs and discussing the comet with Joe Rogan, Avi Loeb revealed that on December 19, 2025, just before Christmas, 3I Atlas will make its closest approach to Earth at roughly 170 million miles. Half-jokingly, he speculated whether it might send mini-probes toward Earth as Christmas gifts to humanity. Loeb estimates the chances of an artificial origin at 30 to 40%, citing several unusual features that set 3I Atlas apart from any known comet. However, many astronomers strongly disagree. Dr. David Jewett of UCLA insists that all current observations are entirely consistent with natural cometary behavior, arguing that Loeb's interpretation selectively emphasizes anomalies. He warns that public fascination with the alien theory could mislead and fuel mistrust, giving the impression that scientists are hiding the truth. Meanwhile, science communicators like Dan Fagan of NYU acknowledge that discussing extraterrestrial life can spark public curiosity, but they emphasize the importance of presenting the full scientific context. Whether artificial or natural, all experts agree that 3I Atlas has immense scientific value. Its unusual chemistry may provide insights into how materials form in distant regions of the Milky Way. Dr. John Noonan, a planetary scientist at Auburn University, notes that the comet's high carbon dioxide levels could result from billions of years of exposure to cosmic rays, which may have altered its molecular structure over time. As the comet emerges from behind the sun, scientists are racing to study it further.
It was pushed away from the sun by some mysterious force.
The James Webb Space Telescope and Hubble Space Telescope are scheduled to conduct new observations in the coming weeks, aiming to unravel the object's mysteries before it disappears from view. Thanks for watching. Now check out the videos popping up on screen for more unbelievable stories.